So what we're doing today on FDR Community Housing Foundation, all about building up communities and having stronger neighborhoods for a stronger future.
Yes, well, it's a fantastic idea to have Youth Fridays. It's one of my favorite days because we get to hear the voice of the youth.
Yeah. Do they need a voice? What? I mean, my goodness. I mean,
we need to hear their voice
I like their
because
voice.
they're raising the community.
Yeah.
FDR Housing, I mean, they will be part of that.
They need a voice, and we have some good youth that have been on this public access TV, CAN TV.
Oh, yes.
So what do you think about the voter turnout with the youth in this past election?
Well, they seem a lot more active than when I was a youth.
What? What were y'all doing then? Because the people, the youth these days, they were not voting. I mean, not many people were voting, and but nevertheless, that's why we have to give them voice, like you said.
Well, I've been hearing from the youth, back when Bernie was running, they were all for Bernie, and then kind of when Bernie fell off, then it was like our voice doesn't really matter. But they've been out there as activists, though, fighting for certain issues and policies no matter what. I don't understand not going to the polls, but they do care. They do have passion.
You know, what's amazing, though, is it's really amazing that the youth followed Bernie Sanders because he's like old enough to be their grandfather or great-grandfather, and he actually motivated them. He inspired them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Often, I mean, I'm glad. Oh, I won't say that. I'll leave that to myself.
but you were saying about activists and people. We have a special guest today that's going to introduce our youth.
Yes. We, like you said, we've had some amazing youth on here. We've had kids with, a plethora of scholarships ahead of them who started their own nonprofits, amazing athletes, actors, actresses. We've had everything.
We have everything, and we've had a diverse group of young people come on.
So artists, yes.
And diverse in culture.
Yes. And tonight's guest, he's an aspiring actor. He's a rising junior. And I like Chris, one, because I know the cloth of which he was cut from. His family is very, very much into the community. They're activists. His grandmother, Rose Cannon, who we have with us today, she is a powerful voice in the community on the North Shore. And I know he's learning. Yeah. He's learning.
He's learning?
Yes.
He listens?
Yes, and he's got some stuff to talk about. He's got some stuff to talk about in terms of the challenges with the youth today, so
that's what we want to hear. But to bring him on, who do we have with this beautiful lady here with this beautiful flag, with the beautiful back trees? Who do we have here?
We have with us today Rose Cannon. She is Chris Cannon's grandmother.
Okay. Well, welcome to FDR Community Housing Foundation, and we welcome you. If you want to call in, 312-738-1060. Welcome to the show, Ms. Cannon.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm just glad to be here. I call myself a community activist here in Evanston, and I tend to almost be the face of Evanston Rejects Racist Reparations. And that's a movement that we have here against these, what you would call municipal reparations that are not really healing our people. In fact, making divisions actually in the community as it's being administered here. Chris, I bring my grandson on here. He's my right-hand guy. He's with me in most of the things that I do here, and he's very attentive and he listens. And I always try to give him the absolute truth because I think our youth need to know. They need to know their history. They need to know their ancestors' history, their older people's history, and how we functioned here and how we arrived at the point we're at in our lives right now. And I want to give him some respect for everything that we've all gone through. And he listens. And I have 4 grandchildren, and of the 4, well, he's the oldest, and he listens. And, he knows when I'm calling out what I call the BS. And he'll say, Granny, he'll ask me, is that the way it was, Granny? Was it really like that? And, and I tell him everything that we suffered in terms of a people as we were developing, and in this family particularly too. And so he's very attuned to, and he's learning. He's at my knee, and he sort of uses me as his filter sometimes. Granny, is it really, am I seeing this correctly? And sometimes I will explain to him what he's actually seeing and what it means. And I don't know if I'm being specific enough, but he's very curious, and he's very perceptive, and he listens and he learns.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, what are some of the things that I hear you talk about your grandson? What do you see? Because we're going to hear from him. But what do you see being some challenges for young people today? And what should they be doing? I hear you say your grandson listens. I mean, do they need to listen more? Are they lacking more parental guidance and support? What is it that's causing problems with our youth?
Well, what I have found, and kind of a personal point of view of mine, is that sometimes the parents don't have the time that the grandparents do. The parents are busy working, busy trying to make ends meet, doing other things too. And sometimes they're not, the parents, I found, are not always paying attention to the individual that they're raising, or the individual child. They're so busy with other things. And the parents have a lot of stresses on them in terms of how to make money, in terms of even how to enjoy their lives. And I'm finding that, because I experienced that as a child. I experienced parents that were poor, that had to work so hard that they didn't always listen to their children, and they didn't listen to the things that I would say to them, to my parents. And I just want to make sure that my grandchildren are being heard, and that they listen to, and that they understand what's happening to them. I was raised here in Evanston, and sort of, my parents were poor and stuff, and they didn't always have time and stuff. So I take the time with my grandchildren, because I now have the time in my life where I can sit back and say, okay, Granny's available, ask me this, or what do you need to know? Are mom and dad not following through? Do you need me to do this for you, or do you need me to show you this, or to show you how to do it? And so that's kind of how I operate in his life. And I don't know if I'm being specific enough.
Yeah, you are. One last thing.
It takes a village.
It does.
That's a village.
Parents always find it hard to tell their children no. And, and sometimes I did a little post, and being consistent in telling your children no is important. I mean, because you don't want to hurt their feelings, but the things that they need to be told no to, you got to say no. Right?
Yes, to a degree and stuff. And I know parents that say no too much.
Yeah.
Like I came from a family where, it was like, hey, we don't have the money for this. Can you forget about that? And stuff like that. And I usually operate in this family as like, okay, let's see if we can work something out. Like if you want to take a specific course, or if you, a specific class that parents are saying, no, I don't have time and money for that. It's usually that I will find a way to show them that it can be done, to teach them that they can do it. If the parents are saying no, and it's for a good cause, something that they want to do, I will usually show them how to do it. Like very recently, just to use a case in point, an example, this one was talking to me about, oh, I really want to ice skate, Granny. I said, well, have you been ice skating before? He wanted to play ice hockey. And I said, and he said, well, I talked to my dad about it. And my dad just looked in space and said, you're too old. You haven't done it. Forget it, But I said, no, let's work it through. Let's work through the thing. And we worked it through. And I found out why he wanted to do ice hockey, because he didn't want to be out on that hot football playing field in the summertime. And so we worked that out. I said, now I get it. But I made accessible to him the ice hockey coach at the recreation center here in Evanston, who happened to be Black. And it was just wonderful to know. But finally we worked it out in the family that maybe ice hockey wasn't what he should be doing. He had been doing football and track. And so we finally worked it out that he wanted to be someplace cool and not stressful on the hot summer days. So but it was just such a fantastic thing to find out there's a Black ice hockey coach out here.
Well.
Oh yeah, Evanston has a few Black hockey and ice skating coaches, which is interesting. But we got to bring Chris on.
Yeah, and he was so responsive. I was just like, I was just dizzy by the quickness of his response to it and stuff. But finally we worked out with Chris that he probably should maybe stay along the line that he had been on. So,
well, let's bring Chris on.
Okay. All right. Here he is.
There he is, Chris Cannon.
What's going on, guys?
Hi. So, your grandmother speaks so highly of you, Chris. And I last time I saw Chris, he was pretty much a little boy, but he was bigger than me. Mm-hmm. And he was in a theater production, and he was really, really good. And the production was about racism through the eyes of a child. And he was awesome. And he's an athlete: football, track. Now we're here in hockey, ice hockey.
Kinda, yeah.
But really, he didn't want to come on and talk about those things. He wanted to come on and talk about what's happening with the youth.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic that he want to talk about what's happening with the people in your generation, because we all want to know.
Yes.
Because we're struggling to understand and meet the needs. But, we talked to your grandma. It appears that you have a nice family structure where, what's in that cup?
This is water, H2O.
It seems like you have a nice family structure where you have mom, dad, and grandma. That's great. The role of a grandmother and the role of a mother is different. And what do you see the roles being?
I feel like grandma is like my third parent, kind of. She's like there for me just as much as both of my parents are, like kind of like the same. She combines. She's like a step ahead all the time or whatever. She's always checking in on me, and like I feel like grandma has, like, considering like she has more time on her hands, like she can check in on like pretty much whoever she wants in the family. So it's like it's amazing, and she checks on me a lot. So it's like,
and she's a strong advocate for you, isn't she?
Yeah.
What's amazing about that, Malika, is a lot of young people don't have that.
No, you close with your grandmother.
Oh yeah, absolutely. To have a grandmother and mother and in your life, but that grandmother is special.
Yes, I love grandmothers.
Yeah.
You do anything for grandma,
Yeah.
They're golden.
Especially if the grandmother's not 26. You know
That's
what I
too
mean?
young.
That's kind of young.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Some
30,
young
yeah,
grandmothers out
yeah.
there like
So-
still kicking it at the club
Yeah.
with their grandkids. Like,
Right.
no.
Yeah. But
Doesn't make sense.
It
No.
doesn't make sense. But what makes sense is your smile and your success at such a young
Yeah.
age.
Mm-hmm.
So Malika,
I'm only-
let him tell us who he is.
Yeah, Chris, tell us who you are, and we want to hear your voice. We want to hear your voice.
All right. Well, I'm Chris Cannon. I'm 15, and I go to Evanston Township High School here in Illinois. Um, I guess I'm a junior now, going to be a junior, rising junior, and I enjoy school, and then I do 2 sports like within the school as well, and I also act outside of school. That's like probably my favorite thing to do, considering like I want to be like a really like famous, nice actor, and I just want to like enjoy like life after high school as well. Everything's been fun because I just like made everything less stressful for myself. Like I just found a routine for myself every day to like carry myself, so it's like amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. He plans to travel internationally for theater and his acting career. But Chris had reached out. He said, "I really want to talk about the challenges that the youth are facing today." And I thought that was awesome. I thought that was awesome that
Yeah.
he reached out. That's what he wants to talk about.
So do you think the youth are, even youth that have the support, the safety nets like you regardless, do you think black youth have a different challenge than their counterparts?
Oh yeah, totally. It's always been like that since it's been like that for generations. Like back then, like families were like separated a ton, and it just got like, I guess it was worse, but like it didn't get too much better. I see like a lot of like my friends, like black households, like fathers are not there that much, and like it just kind of like offbeat with everything, and like I don't know. I guess I feel for those that go through that, and like are missing those pieces in their life that should be there, and like that their counterparts have. So it's like,
Let's say
it's
that
kinda
they
like-
have all of that. Do you think that will eliminate the problems that the youth today face as a black?
no, because I got all that stuff, and I still have to deal with some of these problems that we got. So it's like,
What are those societal problems? Peer problems? What are the problems?
oh
that-
yeah,
yeah.
especially a bunch of stuff happens in the school, like in the school system, like the school areas. Like I'm talking like people like bullying, depression, sorry, like just like I don't know, stuff that we could easily fix if everybody changed their mindset on like how they like just like operate every day.
What you say bullying?
Bullying, yeah,
I mean,
that's
like,
a big.
what is bullying these days? I mean,
Yeah.
what is that?
I think bullying has changed.
It has, because I used to,
No.
what I had to go through as a young person. Whew.
Yeah, bullying's changed, I think.
What were you gonna say, Malika?
What is bullying? We believe it's changed today. What does
It has
bullying look
changed.
like today?
It's mainly cyber now, just like straight online. I'm talking like the bullies won't even talk to the people that they're preying on, but
Wow.
outside of school, like on the phones, like it's just a ton of like just bad stuff. Like social media has gone crazy. On games, like I'm talking like Xbox, computers, like the kids playing the video games, talking like crazy. No parents aren't around. Like what's going on, So it's like people don't know if you're online, you 9 times out of 10 you don't really like know who you're talking to if they're random. So it's like you don't know what they got going on, and you could be like messing their day up bad. So
How do
it's
you
like,
how do young people allow someone that they don't know, someone that they know don't care about them? Now this is a question that I'm asking, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, and it's not going to continue to happen. But how can someone impact your emotions so much over the internet?
it's like I guess like people spend like too much time on the internet. Like I see in other countries, they got time limits for like these apps that people are talking on, bullying on. So like, I guess like it's just like time. Like, what are you doing outside of the apps that are helping you? Like, I guess stay like emotionally happy, because everybody, we try to like strive to be happy all the time, but I guess when people are like putting themselves in these situations that like, I don't know, get themselves bullied, then it's like, what are we doing? Yeah, just too much time on the internet.
So they put a time limit on how long you can be
Some of
on
yeah,
social media?
my Korean friend, he told me like I think they have like a time limit on the TikTok for like 45 minutes a day in Korea or whatever. So I was like, I was surprised. And
Oh, that's something to think about.
Well,
you
that's
know, it's
limited
like
freedom of
we
speech.
don't do that here though.
That's limited freedom of speech, right?
Well, if you're under
Yeah.
18,
So you don't think they have a right to? They don't have rights.
I kind of like that idea. If you're under 18,
I
I
think
mean,
if you're
if you're
under-
under 18, adults should be able to
Choose.
tell you what
Right.
you can do, what you can't do. You know, over 18, you know, it's on you.
I think that might be worthwhile, where your parents could put a restriction on it.
Oh.
And if you're under 18, I think that might be a good idea. Would you support something like that?
Yeah, like my mom puts like restriction on my stuff, especially like I still kind of have a bedtime. It's not really enforced as much when I was younger, but it's like, come on, Chris, like what are we doing on the game at 11:25?
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, mom. It's like, so
So is it addictive?
No, apparently.
yeah. I hate to say it, but it is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad he broke down the difference, because
Me
I
too.
think in our day, bullying was, we didn't take words too much to heart. It
Right.
was like,
Sticks and stones may break.
yeah, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt. Or
Yeah.
or my mom would be like, are they paying your bills?
Right.
Are they feeding you?
Right.
And so you have that in your mind. So anything anybody would say to you,
Didn't matter.
you know, you brush it off. The bullying for, I think, us back in our day was when people actually physically touch you
And
in the
threaten
zone
you
and cracking.
and be like, I'm getting you outside.
Right.
You
That's
still have to be
bullying.
there after school.
Yeah, like people-
you know, we used to do this.
Yeah, it's a bunch of fists. Now it's just
That's just
Twitter, you know.
words.
it's words. All you know, it's words. The words hurt more than the fists. People, it's really bad. So
Yeah, Chris,
I
you're
don't know, like-
absolutely right. Suicide amongst young people is up at an alarming rate. So it is important. And so, do you think young people understand that they have to seek help these days? And when I say help, I mean mental health, behavioral
Yeah,
health
like-
support from the school counselors or the pastors.
it's really sad. Like I personally, like I've got like a friend that like self-harm quite a bit, and like I try to help her a ton, like when I have the chance, and like it's been getting better with her. It's been about a year, so it's been getting better. But like aside of that, like I feel like more school communities should have like resources to go see like a person or a special person to like talk to, because my high school has that, and people there do utilize that. So it's like it's good. I feel like every community should have somebody to talk to, therapists, and like
Yeah. What do you think about today's school system? And I used to be a teacher, and, it used to be go into the classroom, open the book to page 12, let's read and study the vocabulary words, and, and then we continue to go through these chapters. Are you guys still learning like that?
I mean it's more like virtually now. It's like we go through everything together, kind of. We don't really like, I guess like homework has decreased because we utilize our class time way more. We do everything in class now, so I guess we use like the Chromebooks now. And I guess class time is more draining because of the more lecturing. It's like we have to do this, like I guess we could say they're vaccinating against homework because they know kids don't like to do it that often.
So you guys won that battle. You see that? You guys won the battle of homework. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you guys win the battle against homework. Homework has never been a problem for my generation, where you knew what you had to do when you got home, and you look forward to being able to take a break from all that homework gives you more time to play on the game.
Like, it's safe to say you guys, your generation was like way tougher than we are. I guess, like, like I don't know. The pandemic has messed a lot of stuff up. Like even with like my friends, I've seen like, I don't know, our work ethic kind of got like lower during the pandemic. Like during virtual school, it's like we were like kind of like not slacking, but we were just like tired all the time, and it was just tough. So yeah.
So what do you feel when you think about your encounter with the police?
Now I get kind of nervous every time I see like I guess like a non-colored cop, because like I've seen like a ton of stuff on social media and like just like every day what's happening to colored people are people. So it just makes me kind of nervous, and I try to like I try to stay out of the way of everything.
Yeah, yeah. What do you? I think your grandma has some things to say about the cop. She's right there. I could tell.
Oh yeah, she's right here sitting next to me.
Yeah, we got 1 minute. You want to wrap them up?
Well, Chris, we got 1 minute. I want to thank you so much. You've shed some light on quite a few things, bullying and cyberspace, like how serious that is for you all. Thank
It's
you.
so serious.
Thank you so much to you and your grandmother Rose for coming on. And we always have some amazing,
Yeah,
I
we
love
do.
to just hear them.
But we do need him to tell us what advice he would give people your age, males. What advice would you give males your age, and what advice would you give females your age?
For everybody, wake up at 7, go to sleep at 10. All right, that's like
That's
but
very good.
sleeping at 10, we got to get our sleep. Got to make sure our mindsets are positive all the time. Even if we're in tough times. So I try to stay that way.
That's
Stay confident all the time.
that's very good, Chris. We want to thank you for being on, and we look forward to watching your future
Yes.
flourish and being a productive citizen in Evanston and in Illinois. Thank you
Yes.
very much,
Thank you.
and we
Thank
look
you
forward
so
to
much.
seeing you next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
So Malika, what a great another student.